Hello and welcome to this time-lapse video tutorial. Here I'll be showing you how to process all of the pictures that you've taken for your image sequence and then how to put those into Windows Movie Maker to actually create your final time-lapse film. So if you've shot all of your pictures using RAW, you'll be able to very quickly edit those using Adobe Camera Raw. If you have Photoshop CS, then you can shoot in JPEG and then just use batch actions to quickly edit and apply the effects that you need. So here we have the final movie that we're going to make. If I just click play, you'll see how the daffodil just opens up over about a 12-hour period of time. Now, when I was shooting the sequence, what I did was just make sure that the daffodil just started opening, and then you know that it's going to take about 12 to 24 hours just to finalize and really open up. Now, I set the interval timer to about once every 5 minutes, and I ended up with about 120 shots, which equates to a short 5-second film. So really, you're just compressing 12 hours of time into 5 seconds. So what we'll do is we'll get straight into it, and the first thing that you need to do is just to load all of your images straight into the Photoshop organizer. So here I have my 120 DNG files, and I've imported those into the Photoshop organizer. And if I just minimize the size of the thumbnails, and I can just see all of those appear in screen. Now, to open those up within Adobe Camera Raw and get started with the editing, first thing I need to do is to select them all. So go Control A. Then if I just right click and choose Full Edit. Now, as soon as I've done that, it might take a little bit of time just for Photoshop to catch up, because it's got quite a lot of information to load into ACR, and that's a sort of running theme throughout the tutorial. If you just take it slowly, then your computer should be fine. If you try to rush things, it'll get a bit jammed up and you'll probably have to start again. So that took about 30 seconds for those 120 images to load up. Now the first thing I want to do is just to scroll right to the end of the sequence, so the image with the flower actually open, and just select that so we've got the preview in the preview window. And then I'm just going to click Select All, which will select all of those images. So we've now got all of those images within our sequence selected, and what I want to do is now crop the whole of that selection down to 800 by 600, and that's the dimensions that I want for my final movie. Now to do that, just go to your crop tool, I'll go straight down to Custom, and from the crop, choose pixels, and I want to enter in here 800 width by 600 height. Now if I just click OK, when I draw my crop box straight onto the screen, that'll mean that all of those images will be cropped to 800 by 600, and it'll crop them all identically. And as you can see, just on the left-hand side, it's just running through and cropping all those to the exact same size. Now, before I move on and open that in Photoshop, I want to actually start to frame my picture, and I want the daffodil to be quite large in the frame, and I can just adjust the crop just by moving the crop box anchor points at the edges just right into the picture. So I'm going for quite a nice close crop, and once I'm happy with that, we can just leave that as it is. So now we've got our framing sorted out, we now want to adjust the colours as we would normally. So if we click on the white balance tool, just going to click into the background just to set the white balance. And then what I also want to do is just make sure that I've got a nice bright background and really sort of boost the colours and the clarity of the flower itself. So in the basic settings, I'm going to take up the exposure just to about plus 0.3. Going to also increase the brightness to about 10. And I'm going to take the clarity and the vibrance right up to plus 20. As I do that, you'll start to see the detail in the daffodil really come out. So if just quickly zoom into the picture, just zoom into 100%. And we can really see the detail and the flower head of the daffodil itself. So now that I've made my crop and I've enhanced the image, what I want to do now is just to save all of those DNG files back down. So if I click Save Images, the first thing I want to do is just choose a new location for my image files. So I'll just create a new folder. Make sure that those are going to be saved down there. My file naming, I'm going to keep my document names as exactly the same. The file extension within Elements, I've got to keep to .dng. Format, digital negative, and I'll just tick compressed and lossless. I then just click Save. If you take a quick look at the bottom of ACR, you'll see some information text that just counts down the images as they're processing. And if I click that, that'll bring up the camera raw save status and just show all of the images that it's processing through. So just click OK, and to exit Adobe Camera Raw, all I need to do is click Done and then go straight into Photoshop Elements. So I'll leave you there to process all of those files. Join you in the next part where we take a look at processing all of those DNG files into JPEG images.